Now, Chief Research Scientist at the Savannah Agricultural Research Institute of the CSIR, Dr. Roger Canton, is cautioning President Akufo-Addo that his Ghana Beyond Aid vision will not materialize unless science is prioritized. Now, speaking after scientists held a march on the streets of Tamale to drum home the importance of what they do to national development, he expressed concern science has been ignored by the state for too long. Here is a news desk report.
The 1.5-hour walk through the streets of the Savannah city saw hundreds of students, farmers, scientists and ordinary members of the public trumpet the importance of science to national development. The march, which was held as part of the annual Global March for Science, had the objective of drawing leaders in the country's attention to the importance of science to development. Participants held placards with various inscriptions, including reduce poverty through technological innovation, support farmers with technological innovation, government should increase investment in science to 5% of GDP, among others. Dr. Canton called for more investment in science.
At least 1% of GDP should be allocated to science. As I talk, I don't even know how much my own country has. But I can tell you, I don't think it's even up to 0.01. Science education should be free. If you are reading science in UDA, you shouldn't pay anything. Those reading law and other humanities, banking and other, they can pay.
He told the crowd Ghana Beyond Aid will be impossible without science.
I am challenging the president of the country. He cannot talk of Ghana without Ghana Beyond Aid without putting science, technology and innovation at the forefront. It will just be a gimmick, it will not work. And I can say that for a fact. If we come back to government policies, none of those policies, if it is not underpinned by science, technology and innovation, is what? It's like a money band. Nothing will work. It will just be what? A mere talk.
The March for Science was under the theme, Science, Our Past, Our Present and Our Future. Ruben Kwenu of Alliance for Science Ghana expressed optimism the huge turnout for the event will send the message across to governments that science is crucial for the development of the country.
And that is why we have gathered here today in the northern region, Tamale. Last year it was in Accra, the previous year it was in Takrady. This year we said no, we should come to Tamale.
Take science serious and press on hard, and at the end you see the essence of science.
Chairman of the Northern Farmers Association of Ghana, Nasiru Adams, urged the public to embrace science.
We thank the scientists for their new innovations and we promise to embrace these innovations for our food and income security. Long live Ghana, long live the scientists, and long live the farmers. Thank you.
Now, Ruben Kwenu of Alliance for Science Ghana, the organization that organized the march, has joined us here in the studio. Let's learn some more. Ruben, how nice to see you. Thanks for your time.
Thanks,
so welcome back from the north. It looks like you had quite a turnout there.
Yeah, absolutely, Kojo.
But tell me, why is this such a crucial call at this time in our history?
Very well, Kojo. Good afternoon to your viewers as well. What is the concern? Kojo, you would agree with me that if you look at where Ghana is today, let me just give you a practical example. I don't want to talk more science. Look at flooding in Accra, Kumasi, Takrady. Look at fire outbreak in Accra, Kumasi, Cape Coast, Takrady. Look at accidents claiming 100 lives on Techiman, Wenchi, Bamboy, Tamale Road. Kojo, you ask yourself, what are scientists doing in this country? Meanwhile, we have qualified and expert scientists in this country who are doing marvelously well elsewhere. Go to the US, go to UK, go to China. Is Ghanaians making the change? Why are we so suffering in the country? Meanwhile, in this country, when they talk about scientists, between myself and you and then, I mean, the case we are training today, the only people that know are scientists are the doctors. They don't know anybody else. Meanwhile, they are professional and qualified people doing wonderful things in this country, doing wonderful research, and their knowledge is being borrowed by the international community. Meanwhile, they are here, and nothing is being done about them. Because I think it is time government really focus on some of these people. These people can make, and they are the game changers of this country. Why have they been neglected?
Let me challenge you a little bit. My father is a scientist, so I have this debate with him all the time. It's well and good calling on government to acknowledge the presence of science and use scientists to solve national problems. But when you go to other parts of the world, NASA churns out patents, invents new things virtually on a daily basis, and they use these things to solve problems, so people come to them, or they can go to government and say, you know what, this problem that we have, we've solved it, here's the solution, or we're sending a rover to this part of, so scientists appear to be proactive in countries where science is used to solve problems. Why don't we see Ghanaian scientists trooping up to Jubilee House with a solution to Dumso, for example?
Kojo, I share your concerns, but it's unfortunate what you're saying might not be the absolute truth. Kojo, let me tell you, if even on your own network, there are news bulletins, a slot called Science Tech
Thursdays.
Tech Thursdays, very well. Students at K University, where I was some few weeks ago, are doing marvelously well. Why is somebody like Safukan Tanka doing wonderful things? You could clap and the TV will go off. You could clap and the TV will come on. This is a technology people in China, if they had gotten opportunity to, come out with some of these ideas and this technology, because yourself and I would have shipped TV, shipped fridges, shipped beds from China into this country. But when our own is trying to bring up such an innovation, people are not embracing it.
So where does government come in here?
Absolutely, and that is where we are saying that elsewhere, because as you gave the example right yourself, it is not as if the people just invent and sit down and say, government, here's it. Government is already interested in some of these things. Why is a system in the US able to let you pay for your flight, pay for your bus before you move? Why is it that in Ghana today, you go to VIP station and they tell you that there's no buses available. You have to wait for the next 3 hours. Meanwhile, you have made the arrangements that you wanted to get to Kumasi by 2 a.m., have an interview and then return back to Accra. What is the problem? To date, is there any bus station in this country that you can book an appointment and say, I'm booking a bus and then I'll be traveling tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.?
So you see,
there's not.
So the question I'm asking is this.
Absolutely,
VIP,
I'm driving up the point that
if VIP, for example, decides that they want, they want to improve their service, the VIP can go and find a scientist and pay him to give them a solution. Where does government come in?
Government needs to come in the sense that there are a lot of professional scientists sitting on the fence, doing nothing. And most of this, you told me your father is a scientist, most of these things involves money. The work of the scientist is about money. He needs to start a research from somewhere, go into the middle and end up and tell you what are the opportunities and what are the chances and what are the challenges and what are the problems you may see in whatever processes you are going through. And today, the government of this country, not this current government, previous governments, have not really helped scientists. And
but
for us,
has this current government helped scientists?
The same. The same. And that is why we are challenging the president that he's planting for food and job, his Ghana Beyond Aid innovation that he has, it's not going to work if it doesn't involve scientists. And for me, 2020 elections is crucial. I'm challenging Ghanaians, if scientists are not involved in most of these political committees, most of these political executive platforms they are forming, if we don't see scientists being involved in this, Ghanaians should take a second look at 2020 elections. For me, if you ask me, that's the way to go.
How do you take a second look at an election?
Absolutely, because this is a country where we keep on hearing people die out of flood. This is a country where a bus crashes and kills 150 people. And you are taking this for granted. Never.
No, I'm saying, what is it that you want the people to do? How do you take an election, take a second look at an election?
Absolutely. So this March and the science issues will continue to go on. We are planning a town hall meeting across the country. There will be monthly town hall meetings where we want farmers, scientists, and well-meaning Ghanaians to be part and listen to the important things scientists can do for them in this country. And for us, the year 2020 is crucial. If politicians do not involve scientists in all their plans ahead of the 2020 elections, even in their political campaigns, their messages that they are drafting, if they don't involve scientists, because when you look at most of the things, let me give an example. Achimota bus terminal. You remember you made a lot of noise about it some time ago. Today it has been built. Go there and find out that market women are there. Why is this so? It was a pure political decision. Just because people said we need a market, it was built. They didn't involve scientists who has an eye to tell you what are the margin of error, what are the challenges, what will be the problem, what will be the next 5 years, what will you see? N1, H1, N1, H1. Another issue. The road is there. Today it is killing people with a death trap. What is wrong? What is wrong is that competent people were not involved in it. This was a pure political plan. And
there were engineers involved.
But how many of them, some of them were just part of the committee. They never made opinions. They couldn't even voice out and tell politicians that this and that wouldn't help us in the next 2 years. They knew it.
How do you know all this?
Because I'm telling you this we have conversations every day. And I was in Tamale as I speak. It wasn't as if this was a match between students, farmers, and some local people. These were scientists, professionals, professors who have studied. And Kojo, you heard Professor Nanton speaking.
So to clarify, what scientists want is for government to come to them and say, here's some money, solve our problems.
That is not what we want.
Okay, what do you want?
Don't invest in things that are not relevant. For instance, you are giving scientists 0.5% out of Ghana's GDP. What do you want them to do? Go elsewhere and see how they push money into science, innovation, and technology.
But the previous government had a plan to set up a research fund so that when scientists have great ideas that will solve national problems and they come along and their ideas are vetted, then they will receive money to go and pursue the research in it. The same scientists kicked against it. They said they prefer to have the book and research allowance, which comes to them on a certain basis. It's a fixed amount. Whether you are doing research or not, you receive it. So those who have great ideas are getting the same amount as perhaps someone who's doing research into William Shakespeare. So in essence, the scientists themselves have missed opportunities to be relevant, haven't they?
That's not the point. Again, let's correct this clearly. I think there was lack of, proper coordination and involvement, and then proper sitting down to really structure things and then agree on certain things. Let me tell you, Kojo, this is a country where things are done haphazardly. You rush into things. For instance, look at currently they said they've changed our school uniforms. What would that change on a student who is already lacking knowledge? I don't know anything. You said you are changing my dress. Do you think that will make me, regain my consciousness of becoming an intelligent student?
Do you have an answer to the book and research question that I asked?
Kojo, the point is that I was driving the point home that the scientists were not involved from the beginning of this whole idea.
But they are the ones who said no.
So when it got to a point, they thought it wouldn't work properly, and that's what they challenged it. So if government and politicians think the policy was going to really work, why didn't you call them for a general meeting and then explain things to them? But this was a decision and a group supporting it and a group kicking against it.
And in the end, it didn't happen because the scientists kicked against it.
Absolutely, because Kojo, they felt they were not going to get what they wanted to. The results that they were expecting wouldn't have happened. And this was somebody's idea, and somebody was going to benefit from this. Clearly, if you look at the whole thing.
So scientists would not have benefited from it?
You would benefit, but Kojo, the point is that, let me tell you, everything in this country is about who you know. Whether you agree or disagree with me, but I'm telling you.
So what would have been a better way of funding research?
Absolutely. Kojo, for me, I wouldn't sit here and say, hey, I have a better solution. Government knows what to do better. Apart from that,
that's what they wanted to do. The scientists
are saying that engage as scholars. Let's sit down as a party. Let's sit down as a group. Let's sit down as a family and ask us what we need to do. And then we'll tell you what we need to do and how we want you to go about it. But don't take the decision in a room and come and announce to us. Because that is what the people are. That's what the scientists are can't care against.
But if a decision is taken and it will work, why say no?
Kojo, what shows that this will work? Government has taken
what shows that it won't?
Government has taken so many decisions and it has never worked. We were here when government told us that they were dredging Odona, and then they brought engineers to fix the flooding issue. Kojo, just 1 month ago, people died in Accra. Were you not in this country?
So what exactly are you saying? Government should not try to solve these problems?
Government should try and solve the problem, but government needs to have more consultations with the people. That is our point.
So when they consulted scientists on the idea of a book and research fund, scientists said no. So
scientists never said no?
They said no. That's why it didn't happen.
Absolutely. They said the manner in which they are going against about it wasn't in favor of them. That is the point.
So your recommendation to government is that everything they do, they should involve scientists, yes?
Yes, for us, in this 21st century, and where Ghana is now, we believe that the way forward for us as a country is involve scientists in everything that we do. And once you involve the scientists, things are going to change for the better in this country. And Kojo, for us, we think that it's time government increases the funding into science. Instead of the 0.5, we are looking at 5% increment for scientists, and this will help science and innovation and research in this country.
5% of GDP.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, that is the recommendation of Ruben Kwenu. He's from the Alliance for Science, Ghana. This is the organization that organized a march in Tamale over the weekend. Right, let's do another story. The opposition NDC has accused government of being behind what they describe as secret registration of people for the Ghana card. This follows the seizure of some equipment believed to belong to the National Identification Authority at Kanishi. Now, addressing the media at its headquarters, Deputy General Secretary of the party, Peter Otukuno, said the daughter of Victor Newman, whom he alleges is a close associate and confidant of President Akufo-Addo, is directly behind this. Mr. Otukuno says the move is to assist her in her bid to contest the Okaikwe North seat in the 2020 elections.